Humanity needs a soul upgrade so they can hear us. So they can hear us. This upgrade was planned for the entire galaxy and universe. Many other life forms in the universe have already gone through most of their upgrades. However, something is holding them back from completing their upgrades. That is humanity on Earth. They are all waiting for the humans to get it. So, what must happen for humankind to finally get it? First of all, the program that humanity is running has to be seen as not working very well anymore. There are so many bugs and issues with the way humanity is living that there are almost too many for us to list. We see that the main problems are stemming from people's greed and people thinking that they lack everything and convinced they need more of everything they already have. This is the disconnect that negatively affects their ability to be loving and compassionate with others as well as themselves. This next upgrade, the soul upgrade, is based in love and trust. So the fact that it's based, that's a huge clue. The fact that it's based in love and trust tells me in order for you to upgrade and be in love and trust, you have to trust yourself first. You have to love yourself first. You can't give something you don't already possess. Okay? That's what they mean by a soul upgrade. Where you start to really connect with this, make the connection. Quit living in the future, anticipating what you can't control, or living in the past, everything that you may have regretted from the past. Until you can be present, do you have the ability to make this connection, okay? And be firm and strong and accessible so you know where you're being guided to go. Your intuition is finally working right and you can trust it because you can trust yourself. All right. So, Ray, who do we have on with us tonight?
Well, I see Kathy on YouTube. I see 4 or 5 people over here. Let's see. Marie Cloutier, Mary Elizabeth,
Great.
Vicki Norris, Edwin Carl Colley. Welcome.
Welcome, you guys. Welcome. Okay, so if you guys have questions or comments about your soul upgrade, what maybe you've already done, what you've already experienced, what you're beginning to experience, what you're looking forward to, what you want to look out for so you don't miss it when it happens. All right. We would love to hear your comments, your questions, your thoughts about that. So communicate with us and we'll have your guides communicate back. Okay, Ray, what do we have here?
Well, we didn't have any comments today, but I had some research I did, and you can help me out here. The guides mentioned that most people are familiar with upgrades when it comes to software. You're always getting these notices, hey, there's a new upgrade for this or that or that.
That's what most people relate to.
That's what most people relate
when
to.
you think of upgrades.
Click here, download now.
Yeah.
Okay? But I always doubt that. I mean, what if I click that and it's not as good as what I already have? What if there's bugs in it?
Okay. Ray's interesting, and he does look out for us. I mean, he's careful. And we have services that do the upgrades for us on many things we've got because they specialize in testing the upgrade before they activate it, like on our hosting for our websites, stuff like that. So we do have safeguards around that are part of what we pay for every month to make sure that we don't have a failure regarding an upgrade. But what the guides talked about is they talked about the people who embrace upgrades as opposed to people that far too many of you are satisfied with the way things are. Okay, so many times Ray will go with something that's got a track record. He'll go with something that's got history. He'll wait for to implement an upgrade. I'm not that way. I want state of the art software, hardware. I want state of the art, and I want it now. I want the best. I want the newest because I do all the technical back end, the videos and everything, and I know what I know how great it is when you have something that is is um is cutting edge. Okay, so I really like the cutting edge stuff. Sometimes I get myself in trouble, but I always find a way out of it. But most of the time, and you have to admit this, Ray, most of the time when I move on the cutting edge stuff, outside of the fact that it costs more, um, it works out, right?
Yeah, and if it doesn't work out, you call Ray.
I do call Ray,
But
but I call other people too because Ray and we have services that help us when we find ourselves in a jam. The point is it's about the mindset around this upgrade thing, around a soul upgrade, about why you may not want to do it, why you would definitely want to do it. All right. I'm less, okay, I'm less concerned about the downside and more, connected to the upside. I think in a positive way. Ray has more of a, we're yin and yang, and that's where it really works out, unless we butt heads, and then it gets a little radical.
do some yin and yang around here. Well, I think
It always works out though, you guys.
whether you're upgrading your soul or upgrading your software or
Right,
whatever,
right.
um, there's always doubt from people who are afraid of what the future might hold.
Well, what I talked about was having support. What did Ray say? Well, when I get myself in hot water, I move too fast, I jumped too soon. He comes in and he bails me out, or HP bails me out, or WP Engine bails me out, or one of the support systems we have jumps into action and takes care of it. All right. So the whole point here is when you have an upgrade, a soul upgrade. I mean, um, how much more powerful, how much more important can an upgrade be than a soul upgrade? So what happens when you jump too far, too fast, when you go all in and you weren't prepared for the consequences, the potential consequences around leaping into that upgrade, taking not putting your toe in the water, diving off the platform, going all in. All right. So what can happen to you if when you do a soul upgrade and you go with the flow and you start to experience all of this, okay? It catches you by surprise sometimes. Okay? Like an upgrade. You go, "Oh my God, I didn't expect that. Maybe it's way better than you thought. Maybe it's way more challenging than you anticipated. We just got some backup drives for my computers. I have to do a massive upgrade regarding storage. No sooner than we buy the two drives we needed, they were like $400. We need two more of them. Now that turns out to be an $800 upgrade. That's a lot bigger upgrade than I thought it was going to be when I didn't even realize I needed one until just last Friday, right, Ray?
Right.
When I realized my capacity was running. I'm moving in a area where I'm tapping that red zone, and I need to make sure I upgrade my drives. So that surprised Ray and me. Um, but it cost twice as much as we thought it was going to cost us. But you know what? Sometimes soul upgrade. Sometimes it takes more time. Sometimes it takes more effort. Sometimes you really have to invest yourself in the upgrade so you can see what it's really showing you, what it's really giving you, what it's really doing for you. And I will tell you that sometimes the consequences, it costs us twice as much. Sometimes the consequences will be unpleasant, okay? Because you've got to let go of some old people. maybe a job. I mean, maybe this is going to shift you so much that you just can't operate and do your life the way you used to do it. All right. So there's always consequences to everything you do, including and most importantly, a soul upgrade. Okay, this is a big thing, much bigger than my drives, my external drives, much bigger than something that a software company can bail me out of, and or Ray could step in and help me with it, right? I mean, I appreciate all those people and all that support. But I'll tell you what, the way that you insure your bet, here she goes again. My Guided Journey, Part 3. In fact, I'm going to take out Part 3. We have a separate book for Part 3. This book, My Guided Journey, only has 4 journal entries for you to get a feel for Part 3. This is just all Part 3, the journal writing, where you go in there and you start to track where you feel that something is upgrading. You need to upgrade. You need to make some changes, some shifts in your life, a soul upgrade, so that you can finally get over that hump. I'm going to say this too. The universe has your back. And the reason they have your back is because of this. What they said here about many other life forms in the universe have already gone through most of their upgrades. However, something is holding them back from completing their upgrades. That is humanity on Earth. So what they said near the end of this is the next upgrade of the soul will lead you to the most exhilarating and important upgrade in your life so far. Can you imagine? That's what this is really all about. That's how much this is going to move you and shift you and take you to a new level. It will send a ripple effect throughout the universe's existence, because here's what happened here. They've already done their upgrades. They're sitting around going, they're waiting for us. Anytime that you're the lagger and everybody else is ahead of you and they got this thing and they're already there, for you to step into it becomes much easier. It's much harder when you're the first one in line leading the whole thing. That's where it's a lot more work for the first, for the universe, whoever stepped up to the plate first to start doing their upgrades, because it's the 100th monkey. They pull the rest of us along. So the whole entire universe and galaxies have pulled us along. You guys, it's not going to be that big of a stretch. It's just not. But start documenting what's going on with you, so you can see where you're being guided to go, so you can get into jump the wave. It's like the wave is already built and it's moving this way. It's already there. You don't have to do anything to build the momentum of the wave. It's there to carry you. Just hop on it. It may make you feel a little uneasy. It may surprise you from time to time. You may have to give up some things that you used to do, like on automatic, that are over. Okay, go ahead, Ray.
Well, from listening to you there, I think it kind of boils down to a couple things. Acceptance, accepting that you need an upgrade. And once you get it, accepting it as it is. I mean, yeah, there might be some things about that upgrade that are hard to learn, hard to maneuver, right. Things you didn't do before, very uncomfortable. And then the doubt kind of kicks in where, well, you're doubting, well, should I have done this or not? Should I have upgraded or not? Have I tried this or not? When really, then you said everybody's waiting for us. All these other life forms
in the universe and galaxies.
All the galaxies and all the universe have upgraded, and it kind of, like you said, they're waiting for us. We're like the slow pokes of the universe.
That's what it says here. Humans are the slow pokes of the universe. and that's what I said about how it works. And it's okay. They know that there's nobody better than you, or you're not better than somebody else, okay? But it's just, you can't let fear. See, fear is the biggest drawback to humans is fear, because we've been born and bred on fear from the time we got here. All right. And now we have to snap out of it. And how do you snap out of it? You start writing in your journal, tracking what's going on. It's okay, Ray, let it go. Tracking what's going on with you. Okay. So you can start to see it on the pages and look at it from out here instead of it owning you and controlling you. Now you can see it on the pages and you go, oh, I, as easy as it is for me to see now, I sure couldn't see it before I wrote it down. It's so important to do that, you guys. It's actually, the journal writing is your roadmap to back to being consciousness, awareness. Okay. So that's what do we have there?
Well, everybody's ready for the soul upgrade, but Mary Elizabeth wants to know, how do we know when we get one? How do we know when we've gone through it?
Oh, you're going to know, Mary Elizabeth. You're going to feel majorly different from where you are right now. Another thing that happened with many soul upgrades I went through it throughout my life that I talk about and guided, and actually what it feels like and how it works. And I talk about it so you guys don't get caught off guard when it happens, because that's the only thing that could work against you, is you get surprised out of the moment when the upgrade is underway. On the other side of it, once you go through the upgrade, and most definitely writing it down in your journal, keeping track of what's going on with you, tracking your progress. When you look at it from that perspective and you experience this, it won't scare you so much. An example of that is I went through many energy upgrades where they literally physically sent energy through me that caused my whole body to vibrate. At many times throughout my life, I talk about it and guided what it feels like, what it is like. You will go through those things. If you don't, then you haven't experienced it. Okay. But the only way that you can miss the opportunity is if you let it scare you, because there's nothing wrong with you. You're not having a heart attack. You're not having a stroke. You're not having an epileptic seizure. That's what it felt like to me. I was getting a rush of energy. And they even said to me telepathically, if it's too much, let us know and we'll pull back. And I was like, I wanted to move through this thing so much. I said, nope, just keep it coming, because I got this thing. All right. So that's another reason why you want to be physically fit. You want to keep exercising. You want to do your cardios. Okay. You want to do this at least every other day, And you want to start eating better food, less salt, cut the sugar out, amp your body up, give it every opportunity to be able to take on the upgrades that are going to come to you, because you're going to have to make some changes. Like I said earlier, you're going to feel the difference. You're going to be healthier. All right. But oh, by the way, you're going to have many soul upgrades that you're going to just be awake and alive and present and available. Like when the guidance comes through, the telepathic messages come through, you won't miss them anymore. Okay, that kind of thing. So there's so many advantages to this. I can't even imagine not having had all those different episodes that I talk about and guided, where it went on and on and on when I least expected it. Okay.
Yeah, it'd be nice if there was kind of like a meter, on your soul, and you could see it going up and down like that. But
he likes the proof, right?
Yeah, well, sometimes
the proof is on the pages. When you have these things happen, you write them on your pages. You write them, you journal, write them in your journal, so you don't miss what happened, or what almost happened, or what happened and you missed it because you got surprised out of the moment. That type of thing. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm at the point now where I've had dozens and dozens of computers in my life, but I'm thinking about, should I upgrade my current computer, or should I buy a new one? Even though that's more money, or pretty soon, depending on what you're going to upgrade to. But like you said, how do you know when you have an upgrade? Because the difference is so stark. It's like, remember when you got your last computer?
Yeah.
And how much different was it? Just, what's the feeling? It's just, there's no comparison.
Here's the feeling. Everything becomes easier.
Right. Yeah. And you're kind of shocked that,
Yeah.
okay, of how fast it works and how fast it does things.
You're grateful. And here's what happens. Everything becomes easier, but you get used to it really fast.
Right.
And if you were to have to go back and relinquish that soul upgrade and go back to an earlier version of yourself, you wouldn't want to do it.
Exactly. You know, when another perfect example of that is when you buy a new car. Okay, you buy this new car, it's great, and you're going to the dealership to pick it up, and you drive your used car you're trading in there, and somebody takes the plates off your used car, you know, in some states, and they put them on the new car. Your old car that you drove in there looks so different without the license plates on it.
Without its identity.
Right, and you look at that and you go, I was driving that. That's horrible.
So that's the realization. What Ray explained there was really good. Those are the kind of realizations you have about yourself, making it easier for the next soul upgrade when it comes to you, when it shows up. Like I said to you, or in the beginning of this, I didn't pick Ray. I said to my guides, I said, if I meet the right one, give me a sign, because I don't trust my picker. I don't pick the right people for me. All right. And that was an upgrade. But I let them do the picking. And that was an upgrade for me because I handled it differently. Try to handle things differently, do things differently. Go home from work in a different way. Go do things differently and see what shows up, because you open a door when you do things differently. When I said, if I meet the right one, give me a sign, I was ready to not have a relationship in my life anymore because it was too painful, you know, it was wasting my time. I really don't have time for that because I love what I do and I love my work and I love helping you guys. And I couldn't have the wrong person in my life for that, you know? So yeah, when you do these upgrades, your life, just like dominoes, just begins to unfold beautifully. It begins to work. It's not hard anymore. Okay. Soul upgrades are critical. If you don't know about them, get guided. I talk about it all through guided, all the different ways that I had soul upgrades because my guides provided that for me. All right. Okay, what do we have?
Okay, we have a lot of similar comments here. You know, when you get a soul upgrade, you know, what does it feel like? How do you know? How do you get it? What do you experience when it's coming through?
I explained all that.
Kathy says she likes to know that the universe has our backs, and this upgrade is like going with the flow, like going down a lazy river on an inner tube. Okay. Now, Jody Burnett says over there, she gets a loud ringing in her ear when she's being connected.
There you go.
Well, I mean, yeah, we get that all the time.
Yeah.
Is that an upgrade? Is that kind of a tune-up, or what is it?
Perfect.
Tune-up.
What Ray said, that's pre-upgrade type of thing. When you're getting the message, the signal, you're getting tuned
dialed
up.
In.
You're getting tuned up, but you haven't taken the leap yet. You're getting tuned up for it though. You're getting prepared.
Yeah, Jody said, well, she gets this ringing in her ear when she's being connected. You're always connected. This is kind of a precursor to the upgrade.
It's working you that way.
Right.
Okay, it's not the upgrade.
Right.
It's moving you that way, and it's you testing the water. Okay, how did that ringing in my ear feel? How did it used to feel? It used to really surprise me, and I was, you know, now when it happens, I go, oh, well, that's interesting. I'm going to just go with this because this is interesting. Once you enter into that area and you even talk to your guides, you go, okay, I sense that you're here. I hear the vibration of you coming through me, and I'm ready for what's next. And if that means a soul upgrade, if I'm ready for a soul upgrade and you see that I'm prepared for that, then let's do that. Okay, let's go there. I think I can handle it. I think I understand it enough so I don't get surprised out of it as soon as it starts to happen. Okay, or scared out of it. Because there's nothing to fear, you guys. And I've had some massive stuff happen. I talk about it in Guided, where I was on the lawn. I went swimming. I laid down on the lawn and bam, all of a sudden my body started vibrating right off the lawn. I mean, my whole body was just vibrating. My teeth were chattering. I was just hanging on to breathe and get my body to roll with it, to go with it. Okay. This is massive stuff. All right. This was so massive that when it was done, it was like my body was going like this. Whew. All of a sudden I was just, wow. And to get back to my room, I had to crawl back to my room. I was vibrating so strongly. The next day I come home. I was in Phoenix when this happened. I had an event I did. I came home. I walked through the front door. I was married to my ex at the time. He took one look at me. I never said anything. He took one look at me and he started to cry. This is all in Guided. And I looked at him and I said, "What's wrong?" And he said, "I'm losing you, Linda." I was like, whoa. Consequences. I didn't call it. It's just, he didn't vibrate to it. He wasn't going my way. He stayed stuck where he was and he wasn't going to budge. So that's what happens, you guys. There's consequences. I always tell you guys about the consequences, but you know what? It was worth it. It's been worth it. Look at where I'm at now. I couldn't have done it if I had just missed that one upgrade. I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now because I wouldn't have been prepared and amped up, and the soul upgrade wouldn't have been strong enough, long enough of them to bring me to this point. And I'm not done, you guys. You're not done as long as you're here. You're going to keep going through the upgrades. I keep going through these upgrades. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe just what came through what just came through. It didn't come from me, it came through me. And I tell Ray, you won't believe what just happened. And it's another version of that upgrade, pulling you through like a thread through the needle, pulling you through. Okay. And you're like Kathy said, it's like jumping on the wave and going for the ride. Okay. And it doesn't scare you anymore. It's exciting. I mean, you're connected. And there's no more resistance, no more catching you off guard or worried about a consequence. Let the consequences be what they may. Let them be.
Okay, let's talk about consequences. What gets easier after a soul upgrade? And we've talked about how they come through and they prepare you, and you hear
they change you.
The buzzing or the ringing in your ear, the high pitched. You hear that all the time. Sometimes you hear it in both ears at the same time. So what changes? What do you find that it's easier to do?
Okay, in the morning when you wake up, instead of just jumping out of bed like you used to do, okay, before you had your soul upgrade, because you guys have had soul upgrades. You may not have recognized them when they happened, but you've had them, or you wouldn't be on here with me tonight. You just wouldn't be interested in this. So something's been going on with you all along. So you wake up in the morning and you go, oh, I'm awake. What I do is I roll back into that twilight. I lay back and I just go, oh. I release all the what would you call it? The buildup of waking up and moving into your day, right? I release it and I give guidance a chance to tell me what they told me throughout the night in my dreams, the work they did on me, what I accomplished, what I need to be aware of, what's next in my day life that I wasn't even aware of. I didn't even know it. And the information that they give me, the insight that they give me, the messages I get are, Ray, they're amazing. You have learned to do this, Ray.
Right.
You've been telling me really recently. I just laid there, Linda, like you do, And I mean, the worst thing you can do is talk to your partner. Do not interrupt them when
Oh,
they when they first wake up in the morning. Leave them in that moment, okay, so they can they can capture what happened that night, what guidance is pointing them toward for that day. Okay, Ray.
a recent one was when you got your new drives a few days ago, and we couldn't figure out why they weren't working the way they were supposed to work. And we said, well, let's sleep on it and we'll take another look at it tomorrow. And I woke up in the morning and I told you, don't do anything, don't touch them. Remember?
Yeah,
I said they told me what to do during the night.
it was absolutely
It was-
right.
Right. It was the exact right thing to do.
Yeah. Now it's going to take us more time to put that together, but it was spot on. So that's one. So what was your question to me?
Well,
What's one example of a benefit of a soul up of a
right.
how do you feel after a soul upgrade? That's what I think you
How do you
said.
feel? I
You're
felt
more tuned in.
Yeah, I felt exhilarated that
You didn't have to work hard to do it,
that
Ray.
just came through. It was
See,
like somebody talking to me.
your life gets easier, not harder.
Right.
When you step in electively, step into these soul upgrades. It's not as hard as it used to be when it was your way. Okay? When it was just your way and you had to make everything happen and you had to stay in a job you hated because you had all those bills that you got yourself in, and all this stuff. Okay, man, what you realize, you start to the one Ray and I went through is we had guidance pointed us to let go of all the stuff that was controlling us. It took us years to get the rocks off of our backs, but you know what? We pulled it off. We did it. When this whole thing went down with shelter in place lockdown, Ray and I were not overextended. Our life has just been gliding right along, and we were guided to do it the way we've done it, you guys. And when we look at what happened and the way they've guided us to do everything, it's just a non-issue. There's no panic and extreme stress and oh my God and any of that. If you have that kind of energy running your life, you need a soul upgrade or 2 or 3 or maybe more and a lot more. All right. So, but you have to start writing down what's not working and also writing down what really is working so you can see how you're doing here, because you haven't been taught to do this very simple thing. It's so easy. You're going to see the results within 1 month if you spend just 15 minutes a day writing in your journal about what was unusual and out of the ordinary, like Ray had that when he woke up and he knew, all right, and he acted on it, and it took all the hard work out of his life. He just knew.
And it was a technical answer too. I'm not a technical guy. You're a lot more technical than I am when it comes to the technology.
I don't agree with you, Ray. You are very technical.
I'm intuitive.
You're good.
I don't have a computer science major,
No, well, nothing like that. I don't either.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, but anyhow,
it
was a very technical answer that they gave
It
me.
was.
Right.
I
couldn't have figured that out.
Many times they come through me and Ray and a lot of people with it's like they understand technology better than we do because they're more advanced than we are, you guys. Sorry, but we're really the laggers in the universe. We really are. Okay, we got to stop lagging like that. We got to step up our game, and we came here to live this out. We came here to experience this. If you guys weren't meant to experience this, you wouldn't be here.
Right.
You would have crossed over by now.
Right.
The ones who were not meant to experience it are gone. They're not gone. They moved on. They have been released from this particular existence, and they are now, I'd call it being recycled. They're back to where they started before they got here. Okay.
Yeah. What happens? Just like you can push that upgrade now on the software program or not. Just keep going like you're going because it's working. So you think.
Yeah.
Well, what if you resist the upgrade? What if you don't want the upgrade? What happens?
Well, eventually the software won't work anymore. Eventually. It just won't work, or it will lag. So, do you guys remember Eudora?
Yeah.
I knew somebody. She thought she was a technical, wizard. And I said, well, I'll send you an email. Do you have, what do you have for your, she goes, Eudora. This was like 4 years ago. I was like, what? Does Eudora even exist anymore? I mean, I couldn't even send her an email. It was so decrepit. Okay. MySpace, there's another one. What's another one? There's so many of them that used to be, that have their time, their day, their time. You don't want to be a relic, a dinosaur. Okay. You want to be moving through this thing, not because you're afraid you're going to be a dinosaur or a relic, or that you're obsolete. You want to move through this thing because you're excited. You cannot wait for the next upgrade, the soul upgrade, so you understand things better, so your life becomes easier, so you're happier, so you know what to do and when to do it.
Well, that's the secret, knowing what to do and when to do it. And if you, like you said, everything is energy before, if you're not vibrating at a certain level of energy, you may not hear that ringing in your ear.
Right.
You may not see a 7-foot tall light being standing in the middle of the room
when it shows up.
I
talk about that in Guided too.
And
Everybody in the room, I looked at them after I took the photograph, and they dissipated. In 1994, that's when I took that photograph in December of 1994. And everyone in the room, I said, did you see that? And they said, always the same answer. Did I see what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, there's no conversation there. It's like trying to speak Chinese to an Englishman. There's nothing to say. There's a communication, breakdown.
There's an energy breakdown.
Right.
You're not vibrating at a level where they can experience something like that.
There, it showed up on the film when I got the film days, right?
Film. Yeah.
When I got it wasn't like you look at your phone and say,
there it is.
No, I couldn't even see it until I got it developed. So
yeah, you're probably lucky that you had to go to the film developed. So people either get an upgrade and they don't use it, or
you're afraid of it.
They resist it.
You're afraid.
They doubt it.
What you have to give up. When you upgrade, what happens in your life is you'll see all kinds of things that are now obsolete to you. They're obsolete. They don't work anymore. When they used to work, they really never worked that well. Okay. But when you go through these soul upgrades, you're ready to release them. It's not hard anymore. Your life is not supposed to be hard, you guys. Your resistance to it is what makes it hard.
And
what else do we have?
That's the doubt.
Yeah, right. that is. Or it's the fear. And I'll tell you, the upgrades I've had would scare most people.
Jody says, I needed to hear this.
You guys make sure that you get Guided. Guided was published in paperback, Kindle, and audiobook format. It has almost 200 reviews. Okay.
Right,
and we never gave Guided away as a freebie. Those are all honest to God reviews from people who purchased the book, who bumped into it. Okay. And believe me, they had their own upgrade when they listened or read Guided. And you'll see it in the reviews where people's lives have been shifted, moved. All right. It's just the beginning, you guys.
So here's a question. Could an upgrade, we all see them as you're getting something more, you're getting something better. They fix the bugs, whatever. Yeah. Okay, but
new and improved.
New and improved. That usually means the old stuff was old and crap. But when you get an upgrade, sometimes they take features out that maybe you liked, that you used them. Oh man, they took that out. Oh, what happened? I use that all the time. So could you get a soul upgrade and find out that they took something away that you really don't need anymore?
Well, you may not realize that. You may not realize that for a while. Sometimes you go through something, and like I had a marriage that was not going to work out. That made me sad, right? But it wasn't working out. When I got honest with myself, it wasn't working out anyway.
Right. Sometimes you're looking for permission to get out of it.
I wasn't even looking for permission. It just, it happened around me. There's the evidence. He caught it before I caught it. Wow. I mean, I was still in there just, driving through everything and doing what my best and being, all in on that marriage. I was still, doing that, blinded. These soul upgrades wake you up. They don't let you walk through your life with blinders on. It keeps taking and peeling them off and peeling them off like an onion, keeps peeling them off. And pretty soon, wow, you are your authentic self. You are all you. You've got everything going for you, and you know it, and you feel exhilarated. Okay, let me go back to that one part. If you don't get Linda's weekly guided insights, go to my website and make sure you guys sign up for it, because these are amazing. These are very timely and these are channeled. All right. So let me just catch this one part here. Well, I forgot what I was going to do because I start reading this and I love these.
Well, we have a comment.
Go ahead, Ray.
Okay, Jody says she looks forward to every upgrade. I love getting them, and I loved your book.
Okay, Jody, leave a review for my book.
Right, I love that book too, especially part 4 where you meet me and live happily ever after.
Okay, Jody, your guides. Read that again.
She looks forward to each upgrade. She loves getting them, and she loved your book.
Okay, Jody, leave a review, Jody. Okay, we're going to have your guides comment on what you just said, because they're right there with you. They are your guiding light through these upgrades, and many times they're the instigators of these upgrades. All right, so here they go. They're going to speak to you about your upgrades, Jody.
You are different, Jody, as you look forward to each upgrade. Others fear the upgrades and even think that they involve radical change, and change is what they're afraid of. Anxiety and fear about the future is so common. It's tied into worrying about what you did in the past, worrying about how it turned out in the past, and will it happen again that way? So people become caught in the middle, being pulled and pushed by their past and their future, and they miss the opportunities to improve in the present.
Okay, I want to say this. Soul upgrades, from my experience, and I've had many of them, when you guys listen or read guided, you're going to see what I'm talking about. One after the other, okay? I never expected them when they showed up. But what happened is the upgrade happened in me. Nobody knew about it. I never even told anybody about it. They just happened. I was the upgrade. And then the ripple effect around that upgrade that I experienced energetically, that shifted and changed me and made everything possible going forward from that, were natural upgrades in my outer world. Okay, but the upgrade I'm talking about, this soul upgrade, is something that happens within you. That's why you have to write it down. You must write down when you have these come up, or when you missed it because you got surprised out of it. All right. I'm not going to call it scared, because you're not scared. It catches you by surprise. I know. I've had it so many times. And I started getting these when I was a little kid. I started getting these at the beginning of my life. Okay, so I got accustomed to these soul upgrades, and they were an inside job. So then my outer world started to change because my perception was different. Okay, that's how come things change. I may not have spoken out loud about what changed. I didn't have to make any changes, you guys. It happened for me because my perception was then shifted. It was effortless. You guys have had them. I promise you, you've had them.
No more questions over here.
Okay.
A lot of people say they feel the same way. That people have said, yeah, I felt that too.
Absolutely.
That's why we have a group like this.
That's right. And it's to wake you up. It's to let you know that you're on the right path. You're on the right track. Write it down.
And there's nothing wrong with you. People think that there's
no.
something wrong with them.
Ground it into this world. Ground it into this world. Right. Keep it to yourself. Okay, I can't tell you how important that is. When you read my book or listen to my book Guided, you're going to see that I kept it to myself all the way along, every single time. But you know what I did do? I wrote it down. I wrote it down because it was amazing. And every time it happens, it's amazing. And the more you experience this, the more you're going to get. It's the best. They show you a better life than you could have planned for yourself. They do, your guides. They show you a much better life. But you've got to be conscious. You've got to be present, and you've got to be open to this, okay? And you've got to track your progress and track where you slipped up. You got to tell the truth, okay? Nobody's going to see this but you. This is for you only, all right? Okay, so what we're going to do a closing message from the guides about tonight's Insight Soul Upgrade. And I've got a few announcements that I'm so excited to tell you guys about. Join me June 23rd. I will be streaming live on Facebook, on my Facebook page, my Facebook timeline, and my YouTube channel. Use the search term Linda Deer. This will be a Q&A and commentary for next Tuesday night, published in Linda's Weekly Guided Insights with me, Ray, and the Spirit Guides at 6 p.m. Pacific time, so don't miss it. In Linda's Weekly Guided Insights, my Spirit Guides will be talking about who will help you through the increasing chaos. People seem to be losing their way. It's getting harder and harder to not only understand what's going on, but what to do about it. It feels like getting caught up in a riptide current, pulling you further and further out to sea. Before you drown in this sea of chaos, think about how you got pulled into it. Things seem to be going along just fine, then all of a sudden a virus stops the world, followed by social chaos. All right, so again, if you're not getting Linda's Weekly Guided Insights, go to my website. You'll see it right at the top. What are Linda's Weekly Guided Insights? Click on it, and it's free. Go ahead and click on it, and you'll start getting them next Tuesday. All right, so sign up for our webinar next Saturday, June 27th, entitled A Message from the Light Beings. The second wave of fear and confusion is coming, with Linda Deer, Ray Holly, and the Light Beings. Find out how to put the fear and confusion into perspective as these light beings inform you about this second wave. Look for the link for this in the description of this video to go to that.
And that's 2 Saturdays from now.
Yeah, you'll be able to watch the video trailer with that link. That's where it takes you to the video trailer. And then you can just click on the link above it, and it'll take you to Zoom, and that's where you go in. Okay, and this Saturday, June 20th at 1 p.m., I will be reading from chapter 10 of Guided. I'm reading from each chapter.
Every
on
Saturday.
Saturdays, except for the last Saturday of the month, which is when we do our webinar to keep you guys on the path. The webinar is $29, worth every penny of it. It's 1 hour long. And if you miss the webinar, you can watch the replay for 30 days, anytime in the 30 days after the webinar. So don't worry about that. All right, Ray. So the closing message from the guides, huh?
Yeah.
All right, you guys. And you guys are great.
This is a good session. Gives you a lot to think about.
And I know that you all know, when I've talked about it in many different ways, that you've had this happen for you. I know you have. Okay. Soul upgrade.
Your soul upgrade will feel like an energy injection.
Right.
Physically, you will be able to feel it. This energy injection allows you to accommodate more in your life. Accommodate more love, more compassion, and more gratitude. These upgrades don't happen all at once. They come in stages. You will know that you've gone through an upgrade because people will start to leave you. They're not leaving you behind. They are falling behind themselves, afraid of changing like you are. We don't want you to ever feel guilty about moving up with a soul upgrade. You will never be able to go back to your soul's restore point.
All right. And that is true. Once you experience this, you can never go back. That's one thing that you're going to recognize. But you guys, you came here to experience this. If you didn't come here to experience this, what was the point? There would have been no point.
There's a reason why you chose to be here now, at this time in history.
So I go back to the consequences. That's a consequence, all right? Don't be afraid of the consequences. It's not your fault. It's not your responsibility to drag someone along against their will. You don't have the right to do that. You need to be okay with leaving them alone if they're not ready for their soul upgrade, if they're not ready to move along. Leave them alone. They have enough to deal with. The fact that they resist, they've got enough to deal with. You don't need to add to it, all right? Just be strong and just move along. And you're in good hands, you guys, better than you realize. All right. We will see you guys maybe this weekend.
This Saturday
At 1 p.m. We'll see you next Tuesday. We always look forward to this.
All right. Good night, everybody.
And sign up for the webinar. You don't want to miss it.
That's going to be a good one.
It's the kind of thing that we do where the guides won't talk about some of the covert things they talk about on an open forum like this. It only comes out in these webinars. So, all right.
And they sell out quick. The first one sold out and the second one sold out.
Yeah. They're people need the information. That's why it's reasonable. So,
all right.
You guys.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.